Your hopefulness drives my hopelessness. The optimistic, brave, preserving warrior that you described being deep within my soul is dead. I am alone with immense, unfathomable thoughts and feelings of worthlessness that you further feed me with your unrealistic expectations of me, blowing glitzy rainbow bubbles into my abyss of pain with your plethora of positive affirmations, tough love, and indoctrinating prayers.
Trigger warning: suicidal ideation and self-harm are mentioned in this video.
This is something that I would encourage people to do to support me. Create an emergency plan with the individual ahead of time. When they are not having a mental health crisis, about what can be done prior to contacting a crisis line as a last resort. So, create an emergency plan. Crisis hotlines, leave them for last resorts. Don't ever show up. I've had people do this to me before. They never show up in person, but when a crisis happens, they are the first to call some police to put me through all kind of trauma. And police is, as I said before, I am black. I'm a black person and I'm living in Canada. Majority of the people on the police force are white, and we must understand historical context. The police force was created to oppress people who are black, indigenous, and people of color. And that racist ideology is something that they still struggle to get rid of, or I don't know if they don't want to get rid of it. I don't know, but they're still dealing with those ideologies to this day. So when a person just, oh, he's having suicidal ideation, let me call this, and then police come over and police shoot me. This is what happened. This has happened a lot of times. The recent one that I heard of was a Nigerian international student. His friends called, our housemates called the crisis line or something, and the police came for a wellness check and shot the guy, kill him. So, like, when you're calling the police, are you calling for someone to come and help the individual, or are you calling police to shoot the person because they're suicidal? Like, I don't get it. But my condolences to the Nigerian international student and his family. So I'm going to reread this part while continuing to read the article. So create an emergency plan with the individual ahead of time when they are not having a mental health crisis about what can be done prior to contacting a crisis line as a last resort. An emergency plan can be reaching out to their therapist, actively listening without judgment, and asking them questions to verify their safety. It can also include ensuring a mental health practitioner is accompanying the police if called, and accompanying the individual to a mental health crisis center if safe. Lastly, this part is very important. Lastly, a caregiver of a person who is living with a mental disorder can be susceptible to burning out. It is important that caregivers also take care of their mental health and well-being. It is usually encouraged by experts to create a community of caregivers for the individual living with a mental disorder to avoid one person being burnt out, and to encourage the person living with the mental disorder to reach out to others so they don't feel guilty that they are burdening the same individual all the time. For many who are battling major depression, one of the greatest supports is someone sincerely being there for us in person, even if they have nothing to say or do to improve our situation. So, the last two paragraphs, I'm saying that people who are caregivers for persons who deal with mental disorders, they should be mindful of their health to avoid being burnt out. So they should take care of their mental health also to avoid being burnt out. It is best to have a community of caregivers, so not just one person taking care of the person who have a mental disorder or always there for them to call on, but a community of caregivers can do wonders. So, for example, I don't feel guilty that I'm burdening this one person all the time, and for some reason just don't reach out because I think that I'm burdening this one person all the time. But it's always good when there is a community of caregivers, so the pressure is not always on one person to be there for that person who is dealing with a mental disorder. For example, major depression. Showing up is very important. You may not have the money, you may not have the resources, you may not have anything to give, but showing up is a great support. I am here, I have shown up, I care about you, I am here. I am not hiding away somewhere behind a phone or online somewhere when, hey, I live in Toronto, I live in the GTA, Greater Toronto area, but hey, I attend the same school. Hey, I attend the same classes, but I am hiding from you because of what I don't know. Stigma. Most times it's stigma. So I ended the article with prose, and it goes like this: connection. Virtual hearts never cheer me up. Will you be there to pick me up? Will you hold my hand and pull me up? Genuine connection is what wakes me up. I'm gonna read it again. It's called connection. Connection. Virtual hearts never cheer me up. Will you be there to pick me up? Will you hold my hand and pull me up? Genuine connection is what wakes me up. It's always good not to be biased, so I added some support lines, crisis lines at the end of the article, and I will display them somewhere on the screen. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of them, but I will still display them because to keep things balanced. It's important to keep things balanced, but make sure that you don't just call police on people. Like, I've had two experiences and it caused like so much trauma, caused so much trauma, unmeasurable trauma. So, have you ever had the police called on you due to having a mental disorder? Let us know in the comments what happened. Like, tell us a little bit more about it. And here on the article, I have a picture here of a friend and I think this picture was taken in 2013, and yes, I did ask permission to put their picture in the article, and I did that because, like, I know that person when I used to live in Jamaica, and they didn't understand what I was going through, but them showing up made a difference. So them showing up made a lot of difference. I remember when I was having some major depressive episodes, and they would invite me to their family home, and their mom would cook for me, and yeah, they were very welcoming. They were very warm and welcoming. And at the time, I was going through so much, and I wasn't getting any help. I wasn't getting any support because people think that mental health has a particular look. I'm supposed to be searching in the garbage for something to eat, or I don't know, I should be talking to myself. I'm not schizophrenic, and I'm not bipolar. And even if that being said, and even if that was the case, mental health still doesn't have a look. So I could be smart, I could be productive, seem like I'm so productive and studious. I could seem like I could look all like all those features, and behind closed doors I am struggling. Behind the curtains I am struggling. Like, a lot of things that I have done extremely well in, and I make it look so easy. If people only knew the struggles that I am dealing with outside of the public's eyes, dealing with agoraphobia, anhedonia. I don't have no enthusiasm. It's hard to do something when there's no enthusiasm, and I still have to show up, or I still try to show up and do my best. And it's really a hard feeling knowing that what I'm putting out is not my best, and I can do a lot more, but due to the ailment, the symptoms, this is the best I can give. But I can do a lot better if I didn't have all of this dealing with. So it's painful. Like, I know what I need to do is important, but getting it done is very difficult. And on top of that, having chronic fatigue and end up on the ground, sitting on this dirty sidewalk, laying on the dirty sidewalk from time to time. just because of chronic fatigue. And yeah, there's a lot of things: sensory overload, problems with sleep, problems focusing. It's a whole lot of symptoms. So when I show up and I do well, it's not just wow and it's easy and it's simple. I'm dealing with a lot of things behind the scenes. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, and that's why support is very important. And yeah, it's very important. So therapy, medication, and other mindfulness practices are very important, and having social support. Somebody who can say, hey, let's go for a walk. Hey, let's go and watch a movie. Hey, let's sit in the park. These things are very important. So we should avoid saying you should, and say let's do this, or I did this. Maybe it will work for you, maybe it won't. And caregivers, remember to take care of yourself also, and be mindful of your mental health. And this is how I conclude this video. Thanks so much for watching. You're watching Ecam First by Elton Campbell. Remember to share, like, comment, subscribe, do the whole works. And seriously, share the videos and like them and comment. I like feedback. Feedback is very important to me, constructive criticism. So I'm looking out for that. So share, like, subscribe. And you're watching Ecam First by Elton Campbell. I am Elton Campbell, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.